Hello?
Hi, Miss Dean. I'm here for my appointment.
Okay, come on in. You can just have a seat right over here. How's your day today?
It's okay.
Okay, Miss Layden, I just have some confidentiality forms for you to fill out. This is just saying that anything that we discuss today won't be discussed with anyone else. Same goes for both of us, so I won't discuss anything as well as you won't discuss anything with anyone else. You can just sign right here and read over it before you sign. Okay, so what brings you in today?
I was referred here from my son's school.
So what's been going on that you were referred?
He's just been acting out, and his grades are slipping, and he's not like playing sports anymore and being like involved like he used to.
What was he involved in prior to all of this?
He was in the Key Club and
What club?
the Key Club.
Key Club. What is the Key Club?
It's like the community service thing, I guess. And he was on the baseball team. Yeah.
So does he still do volunteer work outside of the Key Club, or
Not really anymore.
not really? And you said something about his grades slipping.
Yeah, he just, like, he used to be a really good student, and I don't know, it's just, his grades just aren't what they used to be.
Has this been with like a certain class or anything in particular that he's struggling with?
No, I mean, he's doing really well in his, like, math class, because he really gets along with that teacher, but every other class is just not doing well.
Has he always really liked math, or?
Not really. He's always pretty struggled in math, but now he just seems to be really doing really well in that and bad in all the other ones.
Have you talked to any of his teachers? Have you talked to him about it?
I try, but he just kind of shuts me out.
Okay, so he's just a little distant.
Yeah. He's really close with his sister, but
Have you talked to his sister about it? Are they in school together, or?
she's a senior and he's a sophomore, so she kind of sticks to herself, but when they're like at home, they kind of talk, but
Okay.
and like I've tried talking to her about it, but she's just like, that's not my place to say. So
She just doesn't feel like she wants to go against him.
yeah.
Okay. Have you, like I said, did you talk to any of his teachers? The ones he was maybe having issues with?
No, I mean, the counselor kind of just told me that his grades were slipping, and that's about it.
Okay. Have you tried any like tutoring sessions, anything like that?
I've talked to him about going to tutoring, but he just kind of refuses.
Okay. Why do you think he's become so distant all of a sudden?
He kind of lost a lot of his friends. For some reason, he just stopped hanging out with them, and he's been kind of depressed lately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has he said anything about that? Any issues he's having at school that would make him not be involved with his friend group anymore?
No, he just kind of comes home and goes to his room and just kind of stays there until dinner. And then when dinner comes around, he'll come down and eat with us, but he won't say much. And then my husband will kind of try to get him to talk, but he kind of asks him really hard questions, and he's kind of mean to him. And
What are these hard questions like?
he'll just be like, "Why aren't you playing sports anymore?" And why don't you hang out with the guys as much anymore? And all that kind of stuff. And
Are those difficult questions for your son?
He just kind of gets upset about it, and he just stops what he's eating and throws it away and goes upstairs. And doesn't come back down.
Does his sister, your daughter, ever say anything in those times?
No, she just kind of sits there and watches and then finishes her plate and goes back upstairs too.
Okay. What do you think your husband's reasoning is behind kind of his feelings, I guess, of your son not continuing to play sports?
My husband's always been like the father that like wants our kids to be active. Like my daughter's a cheerleader, and she plays softball growing up, and like he played baseball growing up, and then he got into the Key Club and at school, and then he just kind of stopped going to both of those, and he's kind of lately he's been really like, I don't know, he tries to kind of be like his sister, like in like dressing and stuff like that.
So, how so? Like he
Kind of
wears his
acts
sister's-
feminine. Like one time I caught him trying to fit into his sister's jeans.
Okay. Do you think is he uncomfortable like with his body, or do you think he's
I don't think
uncomfortable
so.
with anything else?
No, I have a feeling he might be into other men, but I don't know how to go about asking him about that.
Has he ever brought it up to you? When did you think that?
It kind of started when he started high school. I feel like he's become more on like the feminine side, and he just that's when he kind of stopped talking to us and like stopped playing sports, and he's just kind of been depressed ever since he started high school.
Have you talked to anyone else about this? Maybe your husband?
The counselor at the school is kind of my friend, so I kind of talked to her about it, but not really at the same time. She just kind of, she's like, I've noticed, but I don't, like she doesn't want to say anything.
Why doesn't she want to say anything?
I don't think she wants to take him out of class to like talk about it or anything.
Okay. Well, what do you think you said that you do think he's gay. How do you think he would go about it if you asked him, if you tried to talk to him about it?
I haven't tried to talk to him about it because my husband doesn't approve of that. So I think it's difficult if like my son were to be gay, then I feel like he would, my husband would kind of disapprove of that, and like I feel like he might try to like hurt him or something because my husband has anger issues.
Has he ever hurt you all before, you or your children?
No, he just gets really angry and he'll like raise his voice and like he'll like throw things, but like he's never laid a hand on any of us.
Has any of these objects ever hit you guys before?
He just kind of like throws them in the opposite direction, or he'll like slam like the door shut or like hit like the wall or something like that if he gets really mad.
Have you ever been like fearful of staying with him? Have your children ever been fearful?
I think my daughters might, like she's like locked herself in her room a couple times, but I've never been like scared of him.
Why do you think your children are scared of him, but you're not?
I mean, I've been with him for a really long time, but so I feel like I've kind of gotten used to it, but they're just, like when they were little, he never really got angry as much, but now that they're in high school and like they're doing like the normal teenage thing, I feel like they kind of get on his nerves and they'll like be, I don't know.
So you said that he's started this recently. How recent has his anger been? Because you said that he wasn't having anger issues when they were younger.
They probably started when my son stopped playing sports.
Okay, so you think that was kind of his trigger,
Yeah.
of what brought that about. And you said you haven't talked to your husband about it?
Not really. I mean, most of the time he's good, but then they'll just be like, he'll just have like an off day. And like we all have those days.
What do you mean an off day?
Like he'll have like a bad day at work or be like stuck in traffic for a really long time and he'll just get like irritated. But I mean I get stuck in traffic all the time and I'm irritated, but it's not like I feel like he just gets mad easier than
Does he get like violent or?
Not really. He'll just like come in and like I said, he'll just like hit the wall or slam the door.
Okay. Well, how do you think your husband would feel maybe about, like talking to you about his anger issues, or maybe coming in here and talking with one of us?
I can never really asked him about going to like anger management or anything, but maybe I can ask him to like come into a meeting with me or something.
Okay, I think that might be a good start. Now what about your son?
I feel like my son might need some like therapy to just be able to like open up maybe and like get his feelings out, because I feel like he can't, I feel like he just doesn't feel like he's comfortable with that, with like doing that with me, and definitely not his dad. So maybe like even if he just went to the counselor like after school or like came in here and like had some sessions with you, maybe he'd be able to talk about it.
Okay, and you said he also has been depressed. Have you guys seen anyone about that? Is he on any medications?
No, I've tried to get him to go to the doctor, but he refused to go, because I feel like I feel like he's gonna have a hard time going to like say anything about anything to anyone, so I don't know, I'm gonna try to get him another appointment with the doctor, but.
Do you think these feelings of depression is more because of the possibility that he might be gay, or more because of maybe your husband's actions, or?
I think it might be more of the fact that, like, he might be gay, and I feel like the kids on, like, the baseball team might have, like, bullied him or something, and he just doesn't want to talk about it.
And you said you kind of have a good relationship with the counselor. Have you ever said anything to her about the possibility of these other kids maybe being mean to him?
No, I never really brought it up because it was just like an assumption, maybe that's why he quit the team. But I didn't want to bring it up and then get other kids in trouble if they really didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever been fearful of him maybe self-harming?
No, I wouldn't say he's like that depressed. I just feel like he's not as happy as he used to be.
When you say like as happy as he used to be, what do you mean by that?
Like before he went to high school, he had like a bunch of friends and he was like kind of popular, I feel like, but then when he got to high school and the team, like I guess he just didn't fit in with the team, and then he just kind of lost his friends, like they went their separate ways.
Is there anything else that he might be interested in? Maybe like do you guys have a theater club? Maybe back into the community service aspect of the clubs?
He still kind of goes to the Key Club meetings occasionally, but I feel like he just wants to like go to school and then come back and then not worry about
involved in anything. Well, I think a good place to start may be to talk to his teachers about it. I know you said there's one teacher in particular that he's really close to, so maybe that teacher could help him be re-engaged in his activities and maybe in his other schoolwork. And if you would speak to his teachers, you might be able to get him more engaged, maybe with a tutor, to kind of help bring his grades back up. And how do you think that would go if you maybe had like a teacher conference?
I think that would be helpful for at least my understanding, so where he can like know where he's at, and then maybe have one with him in it too, like part of like this like meeting with teacher just to be me and the teacher and then him come in.
So maybe 2 different sessions with the teachers, kind of to get an idea of where he stands in the class and then bring him in. I think that's a great goal. So maybe between our next sessions, you'll probably be back in the next few weeks. Maybe you could try to set that up, and then we could kind of go from there in your next session.
Okay.
Great. Well, I'll walk you out.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.